Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back once again to another episode, the sixth episode of the Dead Man's Mic podcast, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast. I am one of your hosts, Nick.
I'm your other host, Craig. What it do, y'all?
What it do, man? We are back, and dude, this is just a fun time right now. Somebody made
Yeah.
a tweet earlier that said, "Dude, if you are not in the theme parks right now, then you are literally hopping in. Like, this is the worst time to not be at the theme parks. Like, from right now all the way up to Christmas, that we are blessed."
Yeah,
I
for
totally
sure.
agree. I totally agree.
Because it's just so much going on, and um, I mean, ever since 2025 started, we knew we was gonna be in for a hell of a year. So
Yeah,
I'm just
it
I'm just
has.
ready. I'm just ready. Like now that we got like Epic Universe, I'm just ready to go full steam ahead into the fall and the winter. So
Yeah, man,
I'm with that.
no doubt. And so you know how it is. We gotta hit our current events, our current topics. First off, how are you feeling after what was such a spooky week full of announcements? We are going into Thursday tomorrow,
Yeah.
and we have nothing. We have nothing. Now, us, like, anybody that's an HHN vet, you know how it goes. You know that Universal's really good about giving us a lot and cutting it off at a certain time and leaving us with nothing. How do you feel right now?
Uh, excuse me. Right now, I feel optimistic, and let me tell you why. Um, Universal has has kind of like a funny way of giving us like of dangling some food in our faces. Be like, hey, here's some announcements. Here you go. You know, here's what we can give you right now, and we're just gonna slowly give it to you.
Yeah,
And And you know what? The fact that they're doing this to us right now is kind of like, it's low key keeping me on my toes and it's keeping me optimistic because it's like you announced this heat with the originals, and now it's like we waiting on this
yep.
new IP. We waiting.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're waiting
we
on a little something.
and the anticipation is building. So I just think that they're gonna drop the obvious, the big boom, Terrifier, and
Yep.
they're gonna they're gonna drop the horrors of WWE, which I'm excited for since me being a wrestling fan. So I'm very excited for what they're gonna do next and what they're gonna announce. We just wait. We just doing the waiting game now.
Literally, that's it.
So
We're just waiting. I was thinking about it, and Terrifier, and I know we've talked about this. I know we've talked about this, and we've been to plenty of horror cons and everything like
right.
that. Terrifier has become such a cult classic within the last, couple of years
Yeah.
that to be honest with you, I'm actually very shocked that HHN is going forward with Terrifier. I know that it has not been announced yet via Halloween Horror Nights, but I think nobody's going to be surprised when this one is dropped. I think we all know we are getting Art the Clown this year.
It's
Like,
like
it's
it's like
happening.
the worst kept secret in the business right now. So I
Yeah,
mean,
like it
honestly, if you think about it, why did they cover up that tarp in the back lot?
exactly, exactly. It looks.
They ain't never done that before. Never.
Hmm.
So it's the worst kept secret in the business. So
Yeah. Now, what do you think about the intensity level here? Does this have an opportunity to be that true intense Terrifier house that everybody wants, or does this end up being another Chucky and end up being a comedy house that nobody was expecting?
now you know what? Um, I will say that there is no way that Universal dials back Terrifier, dials back Art the Clown because they wouldn't be
Right.
doing this if they didn't know what they were getting into. So I don't think they're gonna dial it back um, or sugarcoat it whatsoever. I think it's gonna be the same intensity, the same Martha Clown, the same characters, the same vibe that you get from the movies. And um, as you said, Terrifier is literally it's literally a pop culture phenomenon within the horror community right now.
Yeah,
So you know, um, while it can serve as a comedy house, it's gonna be much more grander and um, much more uh, love and care put into it than Chucky, unfortunately. But
yeah,
um,
yeah,
and that just goes to show you how dedicated, and even when the director of Terrifier was at a horror con last week, it's almost like he wants to confirm it himself so bad, but he just knows
yeah,
that he can't. And it's almost
yeah,
like at that point, it's like, come on, like,
yeah. He wants to confirm it real bad, and
yeah.
I definitely I get it. Like because the HHN world, not only have they been waiting on this for so long, but once it's out, come on, man.
It's on the
Everybody's gonna go
popping.
crazy over that.
Them flights are gonna be booked. I'm
Yeah.
telling you
Oh,
now.
if you don't have Express already, you
I
might be
pray
playing
for
yourself.
you
You
because
might be playing yourself.
that house is gonna have one of the longest waits besides Jason Universe. So,
I will be watching the app specifically for that house.
oh yeah.
I will be watching the app. So the other one here is Horrors of WWE. Now, Craig, you being a big wrestling fan, yo, you got to take us through what you think. I can't. This was one of those properties I have legit never been able to speculate on it because I don't know enough.
So with the horrors of WWE, let me run down, kind of the history of, you know, WWE and HHN because believe it or not, a few decades ago, The Undertaker had a house in Hollywood.
I did know
So,
that. Yeah,
so, and from what I know and from what the footage that I saw, it looked pretty good. It looked pretty solid. So, knowing that it's now decades later, knowing the technology, knowing the creativeness, um, knowing what uh, HHN and WWE are capable of, I think the sky's the limit for this house. It's gonna be, I don't know who in WWE is it gonna be based on? Maybe the Wyatt Six, maybe the Undertaker. I'm hearing both of those.
yeah,
Um, who knows? I'm just, for this house specifically, if it's confirmed um within the coming weeks, I'm just ecstatic and over the moon for it. And if that's confirmed, then the different wrestlers and the different wrestlers are gonna be there um, to check it out because believe it or not, a lot of NXT and main roster stars were at HHN last year, and I was able to see one and take a picture with one of them. So uh, the fact that they be down there, regardless of whether WWE has something going on there or not, they be down there with their families, with their friends, and it's just like they're just like us. They're horror
right.
fans too.
They're fans.
So,
Yeah,
and
and not to
just to
mention,
yeah, just to be
we
around
got
that
to point
community,
out.
just to be
Yeah,
around that
and
community.
we got to point out what we saw on Twitter earlier that somebody walked in. What was that? The Universal store on City Walk. And the very
Mm-hmm.
first thing they saw when they walked in on a giant screen behind the register was a WWE emblem. If that's not an Easter egg, I don't know what is.
I'm telling you, it like
In plain
nothing
sight.
in plain sight. Nothing catches me by surprise anymore. It shouldn't catch anybody
Absolutely.
by surprise anymore because because Universal knows what they're doing. They're plotting and they're trying to see. they're just like us. They're trying to see, okay, so who's gonna catch this? Who's gonna catch that? Who's gonna actually pay attention here?
Who's gonna read between the lines and pay attention and go find the different hints? That's what's so cool about spec season. Like you don't let it frustrate you. You just have fun with it. Like
Yep.
you're at the beginning of the year, everybody's thoughts are bizarre. And then we start getting certain things, and certain things start getting, chopped
And
off or
then and
removed
then
out.
houses start getting built, facades start getting built, houses start getting announced. You know.
Yep. And so, you know, we are in a position right now to where we don't have any new current announcements. So
Mm-hmm.
Craig and I wanted to kind of use this episode right now in between big house announcements to just kind of have a little fun and kind of, pick our own brains, but also hopefully this will pick you guys' brains as well as the audience, and you guys can let us know in the comments what you think.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a little topic of the day here. And this topic of the day is, what music artist can deliver an HHN house? Why or why not? And I'm going to go with my picks. I'm going to go with my picks first. I got them right here. And Craig, I'll explain, and you just let me know what you think. Same with the
Got you.
audience. This is what I got. I'm going to give you my three. And then after that, I'll explain why. So I have Motionless in White, number one. Lady Gaga, number two. Ice Nine Kills, number three. And Not Slipknot at the end. And that's coming from a massive Slipknot fan right here. But I'm saying no. Here's my thought. Motionless in White would have been like Motionless in White is a band that I've always said would have been perfect for a house. Once we saw what they were able to do with After Hours Nightmare,
Mm-hmm.
it got my mind going on what other artists can really push a haunted house. Like I think everything happens for a reason. And no
Right.
disrespect to Billie Eilish, but I don't think that Billie Eilish is like her catalog would have pushed a haunted house as hard as The Weeknd was able to push his.
And like her vibe is just not her. Not to say that her vibe isn't horror based, but it's just not. It don't give like her,
Yeah,
like you said, her catalog and her even her videos just doesn't. It
yeah.
don't. Yeah.
Like at one point, I think that was her aesthetic. I think that was her look, that was her vibe. But people change. Oh, for
Exactly.
me, we gotta go. So let's go back to Spooky Empire, right? One of the questions asked were, what's going to be the overall theme of the event? A lot of stained glass windows. We're noticing, what are you all trying to push? And Michael told the crowd that they are trying to go with a complete gothic look this year. So, a lot of gargoyles, a lot of stained glass windows, very dark, very ominous, just that true gothic type of thing, that
Mm-hmm.
vibe.
Yeah.
I think that Motionless in White being a gothic metal band, literally what they are labeled as when you look them up, they wear a lot of dark gothic makeup. They dress in different characters, like it's the whole nine, right? I think they would be perfect for an HHN house because they are creative enough to where I know that they will create an entire story to give to us, right? Like sure, you could go the route of like the Weekend did and just do the house completely based on the album. We just take you right through there. But Motionless in White has such an aura around them that like that gothic vibe would push. My only downside with Motionless in White is that it should have happened this year
Mm-hmm.
with the gothic thing. I feel like the timing has to be right. And so I think this year the timing was right. And obviously it did not happen. So maybe one day we'll see them. Lady Gaga, if y'all know me, if y'all follow me online, if y'all follow Toxic Icon, I've been pushing Lady Gaga. I've
Mm-hmm.
been pushing it. Ever since we got After Hours Nightmare and then we got Nightmare Trilogy, I'm like, we need Lady Gaga. Like, she can do it. And a lot of people have questioned it and said, why? Like, what makes Lady Gaga worthy of an HHN house? And I said maybe her current stuff doesn't deserve, not that it deserves it, but it doesn't call for a house. But that album, The Fame, the one that had Poker Face on it and Just Dance and all that kind of stuff, dude, if you go watch those music videos, those videos are terrifying.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of crazy shit happening in like there's so many scenes that I can see Universal Creative easily recreating in a house. That's just this new album that she has out is great. Like I think they could build something off that. But I do want to see Lady Gaga at the event. And there's been too many tweets between HHN and Lady Gaga over the last 4 years.
Right.
Now I'm a little irritated. I'm ready. I'm ready.
I'm like, what
I'm
what
ready.
what gives? What gives?
Right.
Come on now. You throwing us a bone? What you doing?
Yeah, man.
Good like.
And then Ice Nine Kills is pretty self-explanatory. They are a metal band. They are all about horror. They are all about building themselves around horror. I think Spencer is really big into, fan films and things like that. They could create something really cool with that. And Ice Nine Kills is not a band that I necessarily listen to a whole lot, but they could push and build something. Now the one at the end, I said not Slipknot.
Very shocking.
Yeah, man. The reason I say not Slipknot is because Slipknot is way too like Slipknot is not horror.
Mm.
I think that's my biggest thing. Slipknot is it is its own beast. It's its own animal, and there's no true backstory behind. Like there's 9 of them in the band, and they all have a different backstory themselves, which
Wow.
makes compiling a true backstory to Slipknot it would just be too hard. I'm not sure exactly what they would be able to create for an HHN style event that would push Slipknot. I don't know. I don't think it would work. I would love it if it happened. I know a lot of people ask for it because obviously it's like, well, Slipknot wears masks and stuff. Why not Slipknot? Just because they do that don't mean it's right. So
Makes
that's
sense.
just that's my thought. Those are my picks. So
Makes sense.
Craig, what do you have? What do you think?
So my picks are, fairly similar.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Gaga, of course, her past catalog, um, and just Gaga overall has just gave me, like a mysterious horror vibe. Um, like you said, not in her catalog, current catalog or current videos now, but I'd say a decade, like a decade and a half ago. I'm telling you,
Prime time. Prime
that was
time.
that was prime. Not to say that Gaga isn't in her prime now, but that was prime Gaga. That was
Yeah.
when everybody was going through their emo phase in high school. Everybody was uh they would listen to Gaga, listen to everything. So it's almost like I'm telling you, like
Yeah.
Gaga and Horror Nights just vibe together. It's
It
like,
I can just
and
I
honest,
can
and
see
honestly,
it.
if we're all being honest, besides the weekend, Gaga is like the worst kept secret in the business too. It's just like it's not even a matter of where, but it's not even a matter of where, but when. Everybody's just waiting.
Dude.
We
Because
sitting here. You
yeah,
they communicate back and forth on social media. It's like, are y'all seeing what we're seeing? Like, is it gonna happen or not?
right. And out
But
of all
yeah,
of these artists that we've mentioned, Gaga is the only one that I could truly envision.
pretty
Like I
much.
can see it.
Now, my next pick with Corn, um, we have had um, you, me, and Yodi. while we were our last day in LA last year, we were able to go to the corn pop up,
Yeah, that was so
and
cool, man.
that pretty yeah it really was, and so that pretty much drove home the fact I'm like I can see them at HHN
Yeah,
because their vibe, um, the music, their stage presence, the fact that they dress up in costumes. I was like literally the other day um looking at some corn concert footage and how they command the audience and like what they do. It's like that's HHN.
yeah,
Like if there was like a hard metal band to do it at HHN, it would be corn.
yeah.
Um, and then Insane Clown Posse. I
Woo,
mean,
woo.
Insane Clown Posse, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. There's nothing else to be
Yeah,
said. You
it'd
know,
be like a fun house.
it'd be a comedic house, but it would still be like intense because Insane Clown Posse is intense.
Yeah,
So, you know, or they could just do their own vibe, do their own thing, have their own clown type house. I'm sure it would work out because, all the people that I've mentioned, they are intense artists. They come at you hard. And
yeah.
so I believe that intensity coupled with, the way HHN does things, it'd be perfect match. Match made in heaven.
Hey, I can see all of them. I love the picks. Um, ICP would be very interesting to say the least because it's intense, but it's funny.
Right.
But they also like if you're not a juggalo, if you're not a real ICP fan, then like when you see them, all that comedy shit is out the window. Like
Yeah.
you're scared when you first see them. So I definitely feel like ICP could be a good music house. Now the question is, are we gonna get more music houses or was the weekend era just something we were lucky enough to be a part of?
I, you know, I have no idea. Um, there have been times where HHN has done music houses and they have taken a break, but I think uh, this um, the run with the weekend and HHN, I think it was like a well coordinated plan with what HHN and what the weekend is doing because um, Abel had this trinity of albums, and it was almost like HHN followed suit.
Hmm.
We had After Hours Nightmare uh, at HHN 32, and then we had Nightmare Trilogy last year at 34, and um, and it's just been um, it's just been great all around. Me, you and me are big weekend fans, so
Yeah.
to be in the midst of that greatness and to just walk through the creative mind of Abel and how Universal was just able to how they was able to collaborate together and create two masterpiece houses was just great. But um, I believe that if Universal really put their minds to it, that they can create something special with um, more music houses, considering the type of artists that they work with. So, I mean, what do
Yeah.
you think about that?
I agree. Um, I too am not positive on when we will see another music house. I don't think this is the end of the road, but I agree with what you were saying. And also, I've just done research and gotten, perspectives from other people in the community. And a lot of people just feel like maybe we do need to do like that one on, one off, or maybe we do one on, take a couple years off so that it doesn't get old. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because eventually it becomes all right, who they gonna get next year? Who's it
It
gonna be
becomes
this?
like a repetitive thing.
Exactly. And you
And
don't
we
want
don't
it.
want that.
And I think we don't want that because we saw just how special After Hours Nightmare was and Nightmare
Yes.
Trilogy. And not only that, but remember the Alice Cooper house from like
See?
what was that? HHN
That was like
20?
20, that was like 2010, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah, 2010, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
So
was a
like,
while ago.
but you gotta think about it before, like after Alice Cooper, unless Rob Zombie was in. I don't think Rob had a house, did he?
I think Rob was in LA like the
Okay.
following year
Yeah, he
or
was in
so.
LA. But it was a long time before
Yeah.
After Hours Nightmare was a
Hmm.
thing. So
Right.
we'll see. I'm definitely a fan of the music houses. I love it because it's a whole nother realm of creativity,
Right.
and also it makes you go back and listen to the albums. I went through After Hours Nightmare twice, or maybe even three times while I was out there. Had a blast every single time, right? Did not get anything that was going on. I knew the songs because they were popular, but I didn't know anything. I went back, I listened to After Hours, the album in full, and it told the entire story of what I went through in the haunted
Really.
house. And I was like,
Hmm.
this makes so much sense.
And it makes so much. It makes so much more sense if you watch the music videos to it.
Right, exactly. Which made Nightmare Trilogy just that much more fun because it once we got Hurry Up Tomorrow and it came out, it tells the trilogy of the three albums.
Yeah.
So I like the creativity is definitely there. I love it. I'm excited to keep the music houses coming.
Yeah.
And so, Craig, this is kind of where we left off the other day. And we want to talk more about Epic Universe because I feel like we just didn't get everything off that we wanted to speak on. So, Craig,
Mm.
where would you like to start?
Um, we can start off with um honestly, we can start with how um how like the lines and the crowd control was. Um, we went on, what was that, Thursday, Friday?
Yes, we did third or Friday, Saturday, actually. We did a Friday, Saturday, I think. No, it was a Thursday, Friday. It was a
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday.
So believe it or not, Thursday was much more packed than Friday. Now I don't know why, but I believe it was because um, it was the people, like most of the people that was in Central Florida during the week were leaving, and the people that were coming for the weekend were coming in, because exactly how the lobby looked at Cabana Bay on Friday. So maybe that's why. Thursday, the Lions were insane.
Yeah,
I think the highest Ministry of Magic got was one like 180. That's like the
yeah,
highest I've seen it. And um, um, Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge was like 165. Um, Minecart Madness was like 120. Um, and then like you got Monster the Train, which is at like 25. So, but yeah, which was great to us to count us in. But you know, that just goes to show you, uh, like either way it goes, you're gonna have long waits. But what's very interesting, is that during the week, Epic is the wait times are long. And during the weekend, they're still long. Don't get me wrong, but they're like shorter.
I
And
think
so I'm
people have that notion that if we go during the week, it's not going to be nearly as busy as if we go on the weekend.
and
When
guess
in
what?
reality,
Guess
it's the
what?
other way around.
Everybody
Yeah.
literally has that same notion. They're like, "Oh, let's go during the week. It won't be as packed." But
Hmm.
now look at here. Everybody got the same idea, and you're all here. So
Yep.
it's like it don't even matter anyway. But um, they're credit to the team members and credit to Universal for handling crowd control and you know from what I have seen, everyone's just happy to be there. Everybody's just having a good time with their families. There hasn't really been that many problems or anything like that. Besides people complaining about the heat and taking a lot of
Yeah.
breaks from heat exhaustion or whatever, but
Yeah.
um, and that's the thing. People complain about the heat and everything, but I'm like, there you can't just magically grow trees and plants.
Takes a while.
It takes a minute. Like you can't just uproot a 5-year-old tree, 10-year-old tree, and just place it.
Right.
It's impossible. So, people just got to be patient. It's cool. Hydrate. That's why I was looking at the people. That's why I was looking at people that was getting sold. I was like, "Are you for real right now?" Like,
Yeah, like dude, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Like
yes,
you are in a massive theme park with very little shade in the middle of the summer.
oh,
Hydrate. Epic
yes,
Universe gets hot. It's not that the other parks don't, but Epic especially.
and the heat rises. Believe it or
Yeah,
not. So,
yeah.
but another thing I will say to people going to Epic, enjoy the shows. Go watch the shows. It's
Please
great.
go watch the shows.
It's great in terms of air conditioning, but watch those shows. These are the most technologically advanced shows I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
So, and those people work hard. They work very hard to put on these shows. So,
Hmm.
go support. Go watch the shows. If you ain't doing under the line, if the wait times are long, go sit down and watch a show. Relax. Take a load off. You're hot.
Yeah.
So that's what they're there for. So, um,
And
go ahead.
if if I'm not wrong, I want to say there are only two shows in the park
Yep.
right now. So make sure that you make some time to check out both of them because while they are so different, they're both extremely entertaining, interactive, the whole nine. Like they are very well put together shows. So
And
definitely go check them out.
they do make sure maybe when they're about to open the queue lines to the show, be sure to probably camp out there because they do reach because those shows do reach capacity very quickly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
make sure you get all that in check and stuff. So
I feel like another piece of advice I would have, and this kind of goes in the same realm of what you were saying, Craig, about going to the shows.
hmm
Go like when you're in Dark Universe, take the time to listen to the characters tell their stories. There are
yeah,
a lot of interactive stories and things that you can see around the world that will turn a light bulb on in your head and be like, oh, well, this is related to what Igor told me or what, the invisible man was saying, like, whatever. But definitely, especially because I think that like 80% of the Epic Universe crowd, and I really mean 80%, are only familiar with the Universal monsters by a visual standpoint.
yeah,
I don't think a lot of them know the lore. I think Universal has been admittingly honest about the fact that they haven't really put a whole lot of money and time into promoting the Universal monsters. So other than the HHN houses that we've gotten, Dark Universe is really that first real push.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why wait times were also down. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know that backstory, that lore. So definitely take the time to go in there and learn it, because the more you learn it, you can spread it to somebody else, and then everybody learns it. And next thing you know, Dark Universe is hitting in a way that we didn't think it could.
And
So
it def-
that would be a
definitely
big
has the
thing.
potential to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I
Um,
also feel like it's the same with the Ministry of Magic. Just go ride the ride more than once and really take in the queue line and read all of the different articles and everything, man, because they just have so much on display.
Same thing with Monsters and Chains, and you know, my card madness, bounces challenge. Just take it all in. You know, you're even if you will be waiting a while, take it all in. You know, this is you know, like I said in the last episode, this is history. Like these are unprecedented times, and um, you know, the things that like us as theme park fans are so spoiled and lucky to have experienced this type of stuff, because
Yeah,
like who would have thought we would experience this? You know what I'm saying? Like only you know, I mean, I know uh there's things international too, but only in America where, you know, they we us as theme park fans as theme park companies or companies as a whole, they just try to strive to be the best. Like this is what competition is about. Who gets to who, and this is what competition in an arms race is about. Like who gets to who gets to make the next groundbreaking attraction? Who gets to have the best shows? Who gets to have the
yeah,
best overall experiences? This is what it's all about, and I love it all.
yeah. Nope. I have no qualms there. I totally agree.
Yep.
Totally agree. I also would urge any and everybody to really take time to do the food options, do the meet and greets, do all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, because I think Epic Universe is so much about being interactive that like you know, you got to make sure that you give yourself time to interact, do the meet and greets, talk to, you know, team members and that, just all of that, because
Yeah.
it's definitely built for that.
Yeah, and like that's another thing I would say, do the meet and greets, like you said, do the meet and greets, eat the food, just like, you know, have the drinks that's, you know, available, just like, you know, buy the merch, you know, like take it all, like just take it all in. You there, you know, do what your heart desires,
Yep, absolutely.
and those meet and greets are some once in a lifetime experiences from what I've seen. So
Yeah, and definitely, you know, take it in and don't leave until night. If you
right,
if you miss what this park looks like when the sun goes down, I feel totally sorry for you. Like it looks amazing.
right,
It
and it
looks
doesn't,
amazing.
and the fact that the hours are only till like 9, it's like they cheating us, because you know
Right.
you only get to look at Epic for an hour when the sun goes down, and so it's
Yep.
like at least give us like till 10, at least give us 2 hours, take it all in,
Give us something.
because by the time 9 o'clock hit, the sun has gone fully down, and it's only an hour. So I hope they. I really. That's another thing. I hope they extend the hours of Epic, because Epic at night, Epic at night is truly an experience. It's like you gotta actually see it to believe it.
Yeah. No, It's an experience, man. I'm definitely ready to see phase two of
Yeah.
Epic Universe just to see whatever they can come up with. We know Universal Creative is up to something and they're developing things, but that'll be interesting. You would like to hit on about Epic Universe? Any advice? Any tips? Anything?
Um. If you stay at a Universal hotel like we did,
Yeah,
get there during early park admission because
it's
Epic
gonna
does
be your
get
best friend.
yes because Epic does get crowded and people are there. They're like the general admission ticket people. They're at the gates ready to just bum rush and just get up in there. So the only rides that are available to you during early park admission is, um, I believe, or the two lands that's available is Super Nintendo World and Dark Universe. So you go get those out the way, and I think Stardust is uh available for early park admission too. So get there. Everything that we just mentioned, do it. Um, take in the moment, take in what you're experiencing because you might not experience it for a while,
Yeah,
depending on
absolutely.
depending on your circumstances or whatnot. So you know,
I would also
get out
say,
there and do it.
yeah, and will also say, just because you were giving tips, what we do know about Epic, along with the annual pass, is that it will be added on at some point, but nobody knows when. I don't even think that is in talks right now. So even if you are a pass holder and you have not been to Epic Universe yet, please be prepared to buy a general admission ticket. Just don't be thrown
Or if
off.
you are an annual pass holder, you get a discounted ticket, and that's the best that you can do right
Right.
now.
Yep, that's the best they can do.
So unfortunately, it's not on the annual pass, but trust me, when it's on the annual pass, I'm in there. So
We will have it.
yeah, we will be down there for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dude, this has been exciting, man. We are glad that we were able to record one tonight without having to worry about any house announcements or anything. Just to recap
Yeah,
about current and important events dealing, with HHN34. Terrifier and Horrors of WWE are rumored to be the next announced IPs for HHN34. So make sure you stay tuned to us at Dead Man's Mike. Make sure you stay tuned to all the other Horror Night podcasts out there because it's a family. We all support one another.
that's
Make
right.
sure that you keep both Universal Studios, Florida and Hollywood, keep the post notifications on
Yeah,
because that is truthfully the way that you can be notified about a house announcement
and they be announcing bright and early too. So
bright and early. So keep your eyes peeled for sure.
yeah,
Well, this has been another episode of the Dead Man's Mike, the Halloween Horror Nights podcast. And hopefully, the next episode that you hear or view will include a new house announcement.
yes
My
indeed.
name is Nick.
My name is Craig.
Sure that you all continue to follow, like, comment, subscribe. Definitely don't forget to follow us on Twitter either. We are over there. We're having a great time talking about HHN over there. It's been a good time, man.
A whole lot of collabs coming, so be on the lookout. And GhoulieCon is next week. Next
GhoulieCon is
week.
next week. Definitely be looking out for the official Halloween Horror Night panel that we will be doing there. Will consist of Craig and I as Dead Man's Mike, Yurdy from Toxic Icon, along with myself, Toxic Icon, and Doom Buddies, moderated by Ken of Sledgehammer Horror. And that will be taped as an episode of the Dead Man's Mic and will be fed straight into the YouTube. So make sure you stay on the lookout for that HHN Hype Up podcast episode.
We ready. We ready.
Yes, sir. Well, we will talk to y'all soon. Hopefully, like I said, next time we're around, it'll be for a house announcement. Other than that, keep rocking with the Dead Man's Mic. We seriously appreciate y'all, and we will see you all soon.
Peace and love. See y'all later.
Peace and love.